Alright, welcome. We're gonna do a little top 8 commentary action for Penny Dreadful Sunday. This tournament's going on the 7/25, 2020. I'm your host, me. You already know what it is. This is top 8. I missed the top 8, unfortunately, so we're gonna do a little bit of commentary. We're gonna watch Marcy Man 2001 playing Mono Green Cloud Post, a deck I lost to in round 1, versus Fran 1 playing Mono Black Zombies, a deck I lost to in round 3? I want to say. So, a little bit of hate watching going on. No, it's okay. Both decks are pretty sweet. Mono Green Cloud Post here. Pretty great deck. It's a big ramp deck. Things like a Boreal Grazer, Sylvan Scrying, Hour of Promise, and go fetch Cloud Post and Glimmer Post. This Sylvan Scrying here is going to go probably get a Cloud Post here. On the other side, though, Mono Black Zombies, the premier aggro deck of the format, I would say. Duress here took a Sylvan Scrying, but a Sylvan Scrying off the top found the Cloud Post here. The hand from Marcy Man, Forest, Cloud Post, Sanctum of Ugin, Glimmer Post, Duplicate, and Artisan Cossack. So plenty of payoff with ramp. It's going to be up to the Mono Black deck to kind of put a big force on here. Turn 2 Last Up Reaver is kind of a one of the better 2-drops. You have a lot of options at 2 for zombies. Undead Augur is obviously a staple here. Graveyard Marshal is always also a really good card at 3/2 for 2. But Last Up Reaver goes a bit wider. Really good when you're playing like a bunch of lords that zombies tend to do. Another Sylvan Scrying off the top. You're gonna find another Cloud Post. Shout out to Mismatch Cloud Post. Don't Mismatch Cloud Post. Mismatch. I don't know about The thing about mismatched cards is that like when you get duress or something like that, then your opponent can kind of know what kind of cards you have in your hand. Because oh, they played the foil Cloud Post, and now they have the other art Cloud Post. This is the promo Cloud Post, and now they have the Mirrodin Cloud Post in their hand. So kind of a giveaway. Zombies though, it's kind of puts more pressure on the board. He's setting for a big Lord turn. Attack for 2 with the Reavers. Mono Green's gonna have access to a ton of mana. Let's see. Each Cloud Post makes 3 mana if they play the second one here. And so they're going to have about 5 mana on this turn. I think given your hand, which is like... I think pretty much this. Oh, they played the Glimmer Post, I think, already. So it's actually this plus an unknown. So there's a lot of options you could do. I think you just like... play Cloud Post and pass. You're not dead yet. You're at a pretty healthy life total at 19. I guess there's like a consideration of playing like Sanctum of Ugin and maybe trying to draw another Glimmer Post. But I think you kind of want to get a duplicate out as soon as you can. Into like an Artisan of Kozilek. Like maybe you could like duplicate block something, Artisan back to duplicate, and then get another thing, and now you have 2 blockers. Plus you've eaten like 2 creatures with the duplicate. Oh, they drew a Glimmer Post. Okay, that was the wait. So, now they have access to 6 mana. So now they can easily just duplicate something. Alright, so their hand here is Cloud Post, Forest, Sanctum of Ugin, and Artisan Cossack, thanks to the duress from turn 1 that we figured out. Yeah, they're gonna take the Undead Augur. It's probably the best choice. So now the 2/2 duplicate does stop the 1/2 Reaver and the 1/1 Zombie Army token, but a Lord here will change all the math. There it is, Cemetery Reaper, one of the better ones. They're all pretty good, honestly. Cemetery Reaper, Lord of the Undead, and Death Baron all do kind of different things, but really well. Cemetery Reaper kind of takes your older creatures and turns them into better ones. Also kind of annoys other graveyards. So cards like Hermit Druid decks, or like Lab Maniac decks with like from like I don't know, like the blue-green Ominous Good deck. I haven't always things like that. They're gonna take the trade here. Probably setting up for a later Artisan of Kozilek if they draw another Glimmer Post. Alright, so going with Cloud Post here. They have access to 6 mana. They're gonna play a Mindslaver. Mindslaver, a 4 in this deck. Kind of a new card to this season. There are actually Slaver locks in this format. The card of a Bringer of the White Dawn. This deck is not playing it, but I actually seen other versions of this card being played. It's kind of nasty, but I think when you have full control, it's pretty fun. So they're gonna tank an attack here. I mean, the mono green deck's doing pretty well, honestly. They're at a pretty high life total. They're gonna have untap with double Cloud Post. But the zombie deck is successfully going wide. If I had to guess, in the zombie deck, just two cards in the hand. They might have some like dead removal spells that aren't as good against a 10-9 Artisan of Kozilek. I think, let's see, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana, 12 mana with one of these card drops. I think you have to play Sanctum Vubugan into like Artisan of Kozilek. I think it's what they're thinking about. What to fetch with the Sanctum. There might be a learning curve for some people there. A lot of people don't know how. I know Parallaxo is an old card, so maybe people do that. So this is like a really big turn. Artisan gets back the duplicate. Sanctum Vubugan is gonna go back something else. Probably find something like Heal Hellkite, maybe like Mirror Battlesphere. Battlesphere would like kind of produce a ton of blockers. And an F6. Oh, okay, that too. F6, everyone's best and worst friend. I would. Oh, they're getting Platinum Angel. That's a bit risky. It's very easy to kill with something like a Dark Salvation from a zombie deck. A 3 of. Okay, Duplicate takes out the Lord, and the Artisan Kozilek is just gigantic. So I could get Sylvan's Scrying. You can find a Glimmer Post here. I actually like finding Glimmer Post. Glimmer Post basically is like 3 land drops in one when you have 2 Cloud Posts out. Also going to gain you like about 5 life. Your life total is pretty healthy. And then you get like 3 land drops at once. I think this game will just be one on the back of Artisan and Kozilek, plus the Mindslaver, which will kind of really just do work on them. It's actually really funny because the Dark Salvation. So because Dark Salvation is just a sorcery, they can actually protect their Platinum Angel by just like Dark Salvating something that's like dumb. But it looks like it's gonna Dark Salvate the Duplicant. Gonna make 2 zombies in the process, I believe. But yeah, I think this game is actually very much now in favor of the Green Post deck. So they've got more than enough mana to go Glimmer Post, into Platinum Angel, into Slaver Lock, or just a Slaver activation. Alright, there it is, Platinum Angel. And an activation from Slaver. Alright, Annihilator 2 trigger, I think they'll just sack 2 swamps. This guy doesn't have trample, so they're kind of able to block a bunch. So now Marcy Man's gonna be controlling Fran's turn. See what they do. I mean, it's pretty easy. I think you just you take the 1. Yeah, you let him take the 1. You probably attack with everything. The angel gets in front of one of these zombies or something like that. Tap them out, just pass. When you fall down for a second, you could get up. That's the only way you reach to the ceiling. And the water too deep, keep your head up. And I wrote in this message. Seasons keep changing like trends. Fashion technology ought to be bent when you drop it from 4 stories or to me again. Alright, Mono Green's gonna win that first game. I think both decks had a pretty good start. I think just the top deck Sylvan Scrying off that first duress was really strong. They actually drew all 4 Sylvan Scryings. So this green Cloudboast deck really shades of like mono green Tron and Modern. I think just setting up a bunch of post activations plus like Our Promise, a new card also in this season. The out the sideboards here, it doesn't look very good for the zombie deck. I think their best bet is to kind of just like go fast really quickly. So maybe they play Lost Legacy against like some of their bigger creatures, but I don't think it's gonna be good enough. I think their best bet's just gonna be like going face. They could bring in Diabolic Edict to kind of like kill one creature at a time, but I think if the green deck is like smart enough, they'll have like something like Mirror Battlesphere to kind of chump. Also, they have Arboreal Grazers and Fierce Empaths in their deck, so it's not really the greatest answer. On the other side, the green post deck can bring in cards like Spatial Contortion. They kind of a nameless inversion for colorless, I guess. That's the best way to call it there. It's +3 -3 to any creature that is instant, 1 in the colorless mana. But yeah, other than that, I think that's pretty much it for the green deck. For game 2, Zombie's gonna be in the play, just right where they want to be. Every time I say bye, my friends gon' put the ash up. Every time I fall down, my soul gon' pick me back up. Every time I got bread, pigeons they always lash up. Every time I look behind, I find a reason that I can't run. Every time I fall down, my soul gon' pick me back up. When you fall down for a second, you can get up. That's the only way you reach to the ceiling. The water too deep, keep your head up. And I wrote him this message. When you fall down for a second, never get up. Concussion is the reason that you bled up. And your bruise look like it. For one counter rage, strong start for the zombie deck. But they're gonna get stonewalled by the turn 1 Arboreal Grazer, dropping a Glimmer Post here. So already Mono Green had a really fast start. Arboreal Grazer, really annoying card, honestly, if you're an aggro deck. Just an 0-3 dude that kind of like stuffs the 2-2. Pretty daring to make this untapped. It kind of means that you have a removal spell for the Grazer. Alright, so they kept the nameless versions in. That's pretty interesting. It doesn't really kill much, except for like the Empaths and the Grazers. But that being said, I guess like it kind of worked out here. They also just had nothing to bring in. Alright, turn 2 Scrying. Finds a Cloud Post, of course. Plays Cloud Post, passes. Already, Mono Green to a fast start. 4 mana on turn 2. We'll get better from here, I'm sure. Next turn, if they make a letter land drop, they'll have access to Our Promise to get even more Glimmer Posts and Cloud Posts. Let's start Rebirther. The turn 3 play from Fran. Gets in front of there too. All they can do is kind of race, but I think this Mono Green deck's really well equipped to just kind of get things going quickly. Another Sylvan Scrying, wow. That's another Cloud Post here, so tons of mana already. The zombie deck really needs to... Their best draws are definitely filled by Lake of the Dead, really powerful land that turns their swamps into super rituals. I think those are like the most busted starts of the zombie deck, really the big draw of it. They found the lake, so there's going to be another Lord, potentially. They would kind of lose a mana there, but Looks like they're not going to do anything. So this is an attack for 7. And if they have another Lord effect, this could probably be a game-winning board state. Let's see what Mono Green has in store. 8 mana going to be untapped here on turn 4 for the Mono Green deck. Endless possibilities. Let's see if the right one is chosen. Plays a forest. Steel Hellkite. It might be a bit slow, I have to say. Also not really good at blocking right now because of the Death Baron. So, it's kind of tough. Fierce Empath, though, great tutor here. 3 mana tutor. Gonna find an interesting creature. Gets a duplicant. Alright, so the duplicant probably takes the Death Baron. Really kind of just like shrinks a lot of the threats. I guess that was a reason to keep Inversion in, because the duplicant's always going to eat like a 2/2. So look at the name of the versions in the deck is still pretty good. Also, you can get it back with Lord of the Undead, which gets zombie cards back from your over to your hand with the activated ability. I think they played another land, so 2 unknowns for the zombie deck. They just really want to keep continually pushing through damage, so like every Lord they play is just really strong here. Right, finds an Undead Augur. Not bad. Now their traits are pretty decent. The Carnifex is only the really good attack. I think you do it, yeah. You definitely want to try to like get some cards here. Marsh is gonna take it. They're gonna go to 8. Pretty like bold block, bold no block. An Edict. They're looking to set up that Edict effect. Kind of like that. They got rid of the Fierce Empath. So if Marzi has like something like a Artisan of Cause, like they can actually get back the Empath and draw another card, which would be a pretty strong turn. And the Empath can kind of get any sort of card. Maybe like a Steel Hellkite, maybe like a Mere Battlesphere that can kind of like gum up the board. That being said, they are kind of have to find a creature here. Alright, they have another Empath. So they can play a 7-drop here. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 mana floating. So I think the card choice is going to be Mere Battlesphere. They also got Platinum Angel. But they're going to get Artisan. Ooh, they're going to go really big next turn. They're going to get Hour of Promise. It's 2 lands. They could definitely get 2 Cloud Posts here, or Glimmer Posts. That would gain a bunch of life. Sorry, I had to just smack something. So yeah, this is a ton of life. So Hour of Promise, not only a ramp spell, but also just a gain 6 life spell. Or even like, they both see each other, so it's actually like 10 life that they gained. So that's really impressive. This deck has actually really impressed me so far. It's only my second time really watching this. But that's actually a really impressive turn for the Mono Green Post deck. It's a real player. Wow. Alright, Duress, they're going to see what's up. It's not going to be good. Artisan's one of the cards. See, Artisan and Niley's Intervention. So they actually did get a hit off that. I don't know if Duress is going to be... Duress is fine on the play. It does get Sylvan Scrying, so... A little late here, though. They have to push through. They're very unfortunate. They haven't drawn any Lords. It's really unfortunate. Yeah, you have to pressure the life total here. You also have the Undead Augur to kind of like draw some extra cards if you lose your zombie army token or the any other creature really. Yeah, so the Artisan is definitely coming down. It's gonna get a Fierce Empath, which is gonna find another creature, and it's just gonna get a lot worse for the zombie deck. Each Cloud Post makes 5 mana, so they'll have plenty of mana to play a 7-drop. If I had to guess, it's gonna be maybe Battlesphere. Battlesphere, you could also get Steel Hellkite. I mean, there's a lot of good options. I don't think there's a bad option at this point. Alright, they're gonna get the Hellkite. Only really risky because the zombie player. Oh, they just drew a Battlesphere, so they tutored for a Hellkite and drew the Battlesphere. Wow, what a god! What a young god here. I would be. I think the only way the zombie deck wins is if the mono green deck somehow disconnects and all their files get wiped from their computer, because this is pretty bad. Diabolic Edict, very underwhelming here. Eats of empath, and yeah, this was tough. This was tough. I think this was like a really good showing for the green deck here. And yeah, actually, now that looking at the standings here, the green post deck was actually undefeated in the Swiss, so they're continuing their run here, 2-0 over zombies. We're gonna go straight into another match here. We're gonna watch Briar Moss versus Shadow Water, already in progress. This is game 2. Briar Moss is up a game. They're playing. Let's look at the lists. One second. Briar Moss playing blue, black, splash green, Sultai. That's Sultai midrange deck against the blue, green, ominous good deck from Shadow Water. Shadow Water already seasoned with the deck. Had some really good showings earlier this season. But Briar Moss, no stranger to the top 8 scene. The #1 player in top 8's Briar Moss is. Looks like they're going to try to set up a good draw scheme here. I don't know if they played a land this turn, but they definitely have like an infinite kind of like drawing engine here. Alright, they have another Dreadnought. So they have like... Alright, so they get to draw another 12 cards. They did discard 3. They're out of mana though, so this is kind of rough. Briar Moss with 3 mana open can have any sort of counter magic. Also though, you could just make a bunch of 8/8s and just pass. This is another thing you can kind of do here. The Titanoth Rex is pretty beefy, but can't get past 3 8/8s. The tricky thing about this Ominous Good deck is that sometimes you have to know when to go off, and kind of like try to win the game by a Lab Maniac, and sometimes you have to understand that Ominous Seas is a really powerful card. So sometimes the Seas wins very good. Sometimes the Lab Maniac route is really good. But let's see what they choose. Yeah, I think like the Lab Man play is very risky, especially in the face of 3 open mana. So they could like sack one of the Krakens to sacrifice there. The problem is they don't have an extra guy to sack, you're right. So they're gonna get through like 24 cards for each 8 mana. But they don't have a third guy to kind of sack. So they actually are short a creature. So end of turn, Shadowwire has a pass. Waker the Waves has to get cycled here. Cycles a land. Or discard the land. Shadowwire's gonna have to discard a ton of cards. There are 21 cards in their hand. But it's gonna be really scary if the blue-green deck here gets to untap. So there's some sort of mass bounce spell from Briar Moss that the game will be over. And Briar Moss will go into the semis. Briar Moss, one of the premier brewers of this format. Comes at the format in a very different look than everyone else. A lover of Grixis, but we'll play whatever's um, pleasing to them, I would say, is the word I want to use. From the floor here, Mr. Chapa is defeating Arco Verde. Arco Verde was on Red White Cycling, and Mr. Chapa on Is It Swans? So Is It Swan deck into the top 4, joining Green Cloud Post. Yeah, I mean, he plays decks that are suited for him, which is good. I think like it's a really good, probably the premier brewer of this format. Definitely on that Mount Rushmore of PD brewers, I have to say. I don't know who else we could put in there. I'm gonna stay silent on that. I know what I would say, but I don't know what other people will say. Right. Wigger the Waves gets animated dead here. This is a scary situation though. Shadow Waters untapping with a bunch of mana and has already drawn like 21 cards. Actually 24 cards from the last 2 Dreadnoughts, so their hand is pretty stacked. Destiny Center to the play first. That's a weird play. It kind of means you're trying to set up a maybe an Ominous Seas, another Seas. Or just play the Lab Man, yeah. But I think the Destiny Center has to be countered. You have to imagine that Shadow Water has a Memory Lapse in their hand. They definitely stack their deck, or stack their hand. Brybros, though, could have 2 counterspells. Drown to Lock and Memory Lapse, both in Brybros' deck. Kind of like weighing the options here. Drown to Lock more than active against the Simic deck here. On to another, that's true. Shadowwater in the chat. Watching and playing all at once. The multitasking master. A greater good. Eats a Kraken. The Destiny Spinner does resolve, which means the other creatures and enchantments from the Simic deck are uncounterable. Brabants here is posturing. They're definitely posturing some counter magic. You can tell by the way they play. They're not F6ing through these triggers. It looks like they're saying okay to each one, or one of them is. They're not just all like being eliminated immediately. Each one's being told okay. So because the Destiny Sitter is in play, the best bet here for Shadow Water is to play the Lab Maniac and have 2 mana up. Alright, this is a weird scenario. They definitely went for the kill on the Lab Maniac. I think because they know they can't respond, because Shadowwire can respond by just like killing or decking, so they can't let the Lab Maniac come into play. But of course, when your deck draws about 30 cards, you're gonna find a 2 mana counter magic. Shadowwire is gonna take that game. We're gonna go right into game 3. Imagine if they drew 30-something cards and they didn't have an answer. That'd be kind of crazy. So yeah, like I said, a sideboard tech there. A bunch of negates have come in, it looks like, from Shadow Water. And Destiny Spinners as well. Pretty great card. Most of your cards are creatures. and enchantments. Mostly enchantments, actually. Firemos has a bevy of cards in their sideboard. Maybe see something like an extraction effect, like Lost Legacy, whatnot. Maybe brings in more like removal spells. We'll see. The Firemos came into play. They have really fast starts. You can definitely go like turn 2 cycling guy into Animate Dead. It's a very good value play they have. Firemos' deck already a winner this season, but has made a lot of different changes. The earlier version that won was blue-green splash black. This deck is actually blue-black splash green. The only green card in the deck is actually Titanoth Rex. With a couple of like side, I know they have the sideboard options even in green. Oh, a couple of sideboard options in green. So a way different look. A way different look than before. Firemos always on the forefront of the meta. Yeah, I talk up Firemos a lot. We have our back and forths a lot, but I do respect him a lot as a player. We formerly had a podcast here, PD Chat. Some of the archives are still on the internet. That was a fun podcast. We had a lot of it was a lot of fun, but schedules change, life changes, and it's kind of hard to just put that all together. Shadow Water starts with the Llanowar Elf. Ominous good deck, really mana hungry. It starts with a turn 2 Destiny Spinner. Gonna get Waker, a response of Waker of the Waves. Waker of the Waves, kind of an interesting pseudo-cycling, I want to say. It's more of a card like Nagging Thoughts, where you kind of get to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, and you choose one and put the other in your graveyard. So, kind of a interesting look at a cycle. Alright, Firemos goes for the Animate Dead on the Waker. So, already a huge threat on the board. 6-7 Waker Waves. And that's one big clock. Now Firemos can kind of play this like tempo style play where they kind of just like hold a bunch of counter magic and try to protect the Waker of the Waves and beating up Shadow Water. Wilt on the Animate Dead, a great way of killing the creature. It also plays Ominous Seas. Firemos just has to pass. Can't deal with any of the creature or the spells on the stack from Destiny Spinner or just Destiny Spinner rather. However, passes back. Currently does have the dominant board state. I mean, if nothing changed, then Shadow would just win in 5 turns. Could also start making creatures with the Destiny Spinner. 2 enchantments in the field. Can actually make any clan do a 2/2 mana. Plays a library. Will go uncontested, obviously, because of the Destiny Spinner. Activation in response to the Sylvan Library. Gonna show Waker of Wave, Talisman of Resilience, Island, Cling to Dust, and Animate Dead. All pretty reasonably strong cards here. This is a pretty interesting split. Cling to Dust basically either is fine in the graveyard or in the hand. So it's like just like, no matter where you put it, it's kind of risky. Waker of Waves does replace itself as a pseudo-cycling sort of creature. Animate Dead obviously will get back the Waker Waves that's already in the graveyard. And if you put a Waker Waves plus Animate Dead together, then you just cycle the Waker. Or you can even just play the Waker. So, the split was Waker of Waves plus Cling to Dust. Firemos took the 3, which is Island, Talisman, and Animate Dead. Probably means that Shadow Water has an answer to the Animate Dead. Like the Island. Oh. So there's Animate Dead in the hand. But Firemos just calmly passes. But now with Ominous Seas and Sylvan Library in play, Shadow Water is going to draw 2 extra cards a turn, which do trigger the Ominous Seas, so Good thing about Omnis Seas getting 3 counters a turn now. Right, another Seas. The fuel off the Sylvan Library. And these are kind of these like games Omnis Good, which is a deck tech on this channel, by the way. If you want to go back to season 16, you could definitely watch the old deck tech of this video. It's basically the same deck. The Lockmere Serpent's gonna trying to get in the way of this Destiny Spinner. Let's see if Shadowwater has a response. Killing the Destiny Spinner would be a good start. First of all, it's just a big creature. I think like Shadowwater is taking a couple damage to the Sylvan Library. Looks like they've already drawn 2 extra cards. And the Lockmere Serpent represents a 2-turn clock on its own. Can make itself unblockable with the island. Alright, Thirst for Meaning in response to the Serpent. Which is actually gonna activate or enable one of the bigger Ominous Seas cards, or with 5 counters. So it's gonna get to 8 counters over one of the Seas. So it's gonna go to 3. So that means an 8/8 can be reduced at instant speed. Alright, finds another Destiny Spinner with a land. It's a pretty interesting scenario. The Destiny Spinner actually threatens with the Kraken token. They're gonna cycle Titanoth Rex. Oh, it gives and it puts a trample counter onto Lockmere Serpent, which means what doesn't mean anything. It doesn't really matter because I mean they can still make it unblockable. I think it's better that you make it unblockable. But I mean, why not? You get a trample counter. So we do know Brahmas does have a animated in the hand, as well as a mana rock and 2 unknowns. But they go for the Drown on the lock on the spinner. Converted mana cost. Interesting that they didn't actually try to target this ominous Seas token. Yeah, they're gonna activate the Seas. In response, Lockmere Servants can be unblockable by sacrificing an island. So I think Brahmas is just gonna reanimate one of the creatures and attack, and then just like pass. And even if the creature dies, oh, they didn't actually animate dead. Didn't they have one? Don't they have one in their hand? Maybe they just don't care. Maybe they just want to hold up a counter magic. Because I guess technically they're not dead here. Lethal on the crackback? Not really. It's only 9 damage. So it looks like, it feels like they're just holding up like a counter spell for anything that happens. I guess you don't like need to reanimate any of the creatures. But I don't know what you're worried about at that point. So, oh, they could have countered this Greater Good. If this does resolve, it actually... Okay. Yeah, so that was pretty smart for Briar Moss. If that resolved, it actually would have been game. Double Seas is pretty strong with the Ominous Seas. Or I'm sorry, with the Greater Good. Because you could have sacked... You would have made infinite creatures, basically. One Kraken would make 2 8/8s with the Seas, and you would go on slowly and surely. Your Twitch is on a delay. There's like a 30-second delay. I can't do anything about it. It's an affiliate thing. They brought in the Tangle. So Brian Moss's hand currently is, I think, Animate Dead and the Mana Rock. They're gonna let it resolve. Oh my goodness. What a Tangle. I'm surprised they didn't actually draw a bunch of cards to try to counter that Tangle. I'm actually so surprised they didn't try to draw 2 cards. Because I think you just put it all on the line there. That's me. That's me. I put it all on the line there. I wonder if Briar Moss is like regretting their choice to not draw cards. Shadow Art down to 1 life. 1 life to live. I wonder what they were trying to draw. I think they're trying to like load up their hand and maybe try to like win the game with the Lockmere Serpent. But yeah, you're kind of forced. Ooh, okay, so they're gonna play a Talisman and they're going to reanimate the probably Titanoth Rex. Because you are kind of forced to chump this Oh wow, they're passing again. This is a wild game of choices that I don't know if I would have made. Like I would have animated Dead something a long time ago. Like I would have had like a 10-11 in play, and because the memory lapse. That's right, they did memory lapse. So you're correct. You're totally right. So they kind of have to do this. Well, you can't not block. If you don't block, you die. Oh, it feels like they had no outs. Wow. Wow. I'm actually surprised that Brian West didn't try to like draw 2 cards in response to that Tangle. That's a ridiculous sideboard card. That was kind of crazy. No one would have thought to actually bring in Tangle, but I guess Shadowwater had the foresight to do that. It is one of the few ways you can not be able to stop the Lockmere Serpent. But yeah, I'm actually really surprised Brian West didn't try to draw 2 cards. Maybe try to draw like a negate or drown in the lock. There were like a ton of interesting choices there. Blue-green's gonna go on to the semis. Yeah, Tangle got there. Alright, I think that was the last match. We're gonna take a quick 30-second break. I'm only running ads just to get rid of the pre-roll ads if you're on Twitch here. And I have to use the restroom. So we're gonna go into round 3 about a minute. So, a quick ad, and we'll be right back. We're back. Power already reported, but there would be right back. Moss has not reported for some reason. I'm just gonna push through his report. Maybe he just like stormed off. I'll just do it for him. We were already there. Everyone is subjected to getting added by me, reporting, even mods. They should know better, but because we were already there, I can already remember the result. We gotta get this train rolling. So, we've already watched both the blue-green and the post deck on one side. We're gonna watch the other side of the matchup, which is gonna be, is it Swans against Big Red? It'll be an interesting matchup. Mr. Chocolate playing Is It Swans, plays the card Swans of Bryn Argyle, which reads, it's a flying 4/3. The source will deal damage to the Swans. They would prevent that damage, and the source's controller draws cards equal to the number of damage prevented. So there's a lot of things you can do with it. If you have Seismic Assault, you can kind of draw your deck and kind of throw burn spells and the other lands at your opponent. You also Chain of Plasma to kind of draw your deck. Chain of Plasma is a card that can continually copy itself if the controller feels like it, and draw a lot of cards. The deck that likes to draw its deck. The deck that likes to draw its deck, which always leads to a good time. On the other side, Patty is playing Big Red, sort of a mid-range red deck based around Seething Song to kind of ramp up into bigger spells. Twin Flame plus Goblin Dark Dwellers is always a great time. I'll always endorse that. But yeah, it plays a lot of like red removal spells, Chain Lightning, Mizzy Mortars, Seething Song, all really good in the creature meta that may or may not be here. A couple of Planeswalkers in Chandra Fire Artisan and Chandra Pyromancer to keep the cards coming, and finishers in Tectonic Giant and Glorybringer. This will be an interesting matchup. I don't think the red removal is really great against Swans, obviously, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, just a couple land drops from both players. With the track they opened up with an opt. Where'd that Scry go? Puts a card on top, so like what they saw, the land. Okay, just force the pass, nothing going on. Your deck is full of removal spells from creatures, but the Swans deck, only 4 creatures in the deck, and the Swans of Bryn Argyle. I don't think game 1 really favors the big red deck at all. Like I said, they don't have any sort of way of interacting with the Swans. And once, like, basically Mr. Chocolate can get the Swans down, they can find their Seismic Assault or their Chain of Plasma, the game could be over very quickly. Alright, really quick Dark Dwellers here, trying to get ahead on the board pretty quickly. It's a Syncopate, that's rough. That could have led to a lot of things. It could have gotten pretty fun. Seething Song basically makes a Dark Dwellers a free spell. Or Chalice for 1. Actually, did they miss a land drop? I don't think they did, no. They're missing a land drop here, though. It's kind of bad. Another opt for the Swans deck. They kept the card on top. 5 mana is kind of the point of mana where Big Red likes to kind of do a lot of things. Main Link, though, gotta take care of this Tectonic Giant. But yeah, the Mono Red deck has very few ways of kind of dealing with counter magic. They chance to like jam their threats and hope it sticks. Yeah. Is it deck has to pass here? Interesting. There's no like tutor effects in this Swans deck. Blue doesn't have like a lot of like interesting tutors, but they could definitely play something like a transmute card. What does it say? What's a 4-mana transmute card? I'm not sure if there's Crook Claw Transmuter. Oh, that's not right. That's not a transmuter. I guess there's no like 4-mana transmute they could do that's in mono blue. So, because the first part of this game is really just looking for the swans. Like, your deck doesn't do anything until you play Seismic Swans. So, only a couple cards dedicated to that. Opt, Omen of the Sea, Factor Fiction. There is this aforementioned Swans. So it's probably going to be Swans or no Swans. And if I had to guess, Swans will be the choice. Alright, the game can be over pretty quickly if he Seismic Assault's in the future. Alright, Missing of Mortars. It's gonna draw Merpatty about 4 cards here. So this goes both ways. If you kind of deal damage to the swans, you get to draw cards. I'm not sure what they could draw at this point. I guess I can only really hope that there isn't much to do. So Dark Dwellers could either play the mortars onto the swans, or maybe Seething Song to try to play another random creature. Alright, they're going for Seething Song. Looks like it's resolving. They're gonna Twin Flame. Oh my goodness. So now they're gonna Twin Flame to Dark Dwellers. So now the Dark Dwellers are gonna copy the Twin Flame. And you can actually pay for the Strive cost outside of the when it hits the graveyard here. So we're gonna get Mortars. God, there's so many things going on. So Mortars can draw a bunch more cards off the swans. There's no more spells actually in the graveyard. And this is gonna get crunching for 12. These Menace guys mean business. Sometimes Twin Flame just really does a pile of damage out of nowhere. That's what I really love about the Twin Flame Dark Dwellers interaction. It can kind of just like win, or it can kind of just get a bunch of cards on the field at once. Alright, well, Chain of Plasma is going to target the swans, and that's it. So Chain of Plasma reads, deals 3 damage to each target, and then that permanent's, the player of that, or that permanent's controller can discard a card to copy the spell. You're going to keep drawing cards off the Chain of Plasma, dealing 3. So you're basically going to draw your deck. From there, you can easily just play a Seismic Assault and throw the rest of the lands on your opponent's face, so on and so forth, and that's game 1. In a nutshell. What a format. Bringing this old card from Judgment, I want to say, or Onslaught? I can't remember. This is Onslaught, right? With this card from Shadowmoor? I don't know. I played Onslaught, or this block. Or is it Invasion? Shadowmoor? This is Shadowmoor, right? Onslaught, okay. But yeah, just a match made in heaven here. I just gotta check real quick to see the other people we're playing. Oh, they're playing? They're still waiting. Alright, Merpati here gonna be in the play. We didn't talk about sideboards yet. Merpati can really transform their deck into sort of a Ponza style. 4 Stone Rain, 4 Pillage. Also could bring in Brittle Effigies, a kind of a nice clean answer to killing any swans as it exiles creatures. Also could bring in Vesicant Structure against the blue deck, blue counter magic. But no Stone Rain, no Brittle Effigy at all. From the Swans deck, they can kind of continually... doesn't have to do much, really. I think, I really think the deck is kind of good on the main deck. They don't have much to bring in against this. I guess they can play Last Step Plating if they know that the big red deck's gonna bring in a bunch of, like, Ponza spells. Last Step Plating kind of gives her permanence hexproof. Right. Turn 4 Pillage. Target the Mystic Monastery. Probably gonna eat a Neutralize. Okay, the other match is underway. They started a bit late, but that is okay. Hello, how are you? Welcome. We're just watching the semifinals here of our Penny Dreadful Saturday tournament. Mr. Chocolate on Is It Swans against Big Red, the red mid-range deck from Merpati. Mr. Chocolate. Okay, they brought in the Soul Guy Lanterns. I guess for Goblin Dark Dweller shenanigans. That's probably not a bad choice. Also just cycles at worst. Okay, this Fire Master is going to resolve. It's going to continually bring cards into play. Mountain. Good draw there from Merpati. Gonna hit the 5th land. I've actually really been impressed with the Fire Artisan card. If you've watched my Rakdos Walkers deck, which is on this YouTube channel, I've really enjoyed this card. It's just like a continual card drawing engine. Okay, Swans has hit the field, so it's up to Merpati to draw that Brittle Effigy, which is I'm just gonna get a good looking extra card. Finds a land. Might be open before it started here. So, if they have a pillage, they could take out the red source. That way they wouldn't have any sort of way of dealing damage with, like, Chain of Plasma. Merpati's gonna sacrifice a land. Crystal Vein. Pump some 5 mana. Glorybringer. Okay, so it looks like they're trying to draw into a Stone Rain. So you could Glorybringer, Exert onto the Swans here. Alright, and they're gonna Twin Flame the Glorybringer. Oh, this is interesting. This is scary too, all at once. Interesting and scary. Skinteresting? Yeah, you could draw 8 cards. You could double Exert on these You could draw 8 cards here. I mean, you might as well Exert with the token. It's just gonna go away. So they're gonna draw 8 cards. They're gonna let them draw even more with the block. And actually, it does trade with the original Glorybringer, so Mono Red drew 12 cards there, but it might not be enough. But they definitely can accept their hand if the deck doesn't have a Chain of Plasma. I think that's what they're banking on here. If there's no Chain of Plasma, then the Izzet deck is just gonna run wild. So yeah, let's see. But I think the Chandra really needed to hit a Brittle Effigy there. Alright, a bunch of lands and a Pyromaster. So let's see. Chain of Plasma or bust. Alright, Fist of Flame. Draws a card and gives a creature trample. Interesting card to... Oh, I guess it's a combo piece with your if you draw a billion cards, though. This actually came out the sideboard. This is interesting. So it's another way of like killing your opponent if you kind of like draw on your deck. You kill them on your turn. They have blockers. That was an interesting card to bring. I'm not really sure if that's even good. Alright, they're gonna... So they're attacking the Chandra for 6. It's gonna dome right back into Mr. Chocolate. That can be kind of scary if there's any kind of like burn spells. I don't think Merpati would have kept the burn spells in. Only the Chain Lightning goes to the dome. Alright, let's see if Merpati found the answer to the swans here. In the face of counter magic as well. 3 mana up for Chocolate. Alright, Seething Song. I might just counter this if I'm Mr. Chocolate. I don't know. What are you worried about at 3 mana? I'm not really sure. Like, this is a lot of mana for Merpati here. Okay, let's let it resolve. They'll probably just counter whatever happens. So, Twin Flame's not really a worry because of the Soul Guide Lantern. Or, I'm sorry, Garbin Dark Dwellers. It's not really a worry because, like I said, there's a Soul Guide Lantern in play. I guess Merpati can try to like bait out the activation of Soul Guide Lantern, and then Merpati can play a Twin Flame onto the Goblin Dark Dwellers, and then maybe go from there. I don't know. That's not gonna kill though. Alright, they're gonna start with Pillage onto the Soul Guide Lantern itself, so they're gonna try to force the activation of the Soul Guide Lantern. The library or graveyard be exiled from Merpati. So you can sacrifice a Crystal Vein here. Get the Goblin Dark Dwellers in play. Maybe. Okay, they're gonna play Vexing Shusher. They're gonna Seething Song again. Oh god. Dark Dwellers. Interestingly, they kept the Crystal Vein untapped. Looks like Is It Swan's F6 tier. Twin Flame onto the Dark Dwellers. Gonna copy the Twin Flame. Gonna strive onto the both Dark Dwellers here. Oh, they could... Okay, takes another Pillage. That's game! Wow, what a turn! What a turn! So they had to... I think they had to fish to see if the coast was clear. I guess, like, Mr. Chocolate just didn't have a counterspell there. Wow. Alright, on to game 3. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what would happen if that, like, that Seething Song just gets countered. But it looks like it wasn't the case there. So we're going to game 3. Is It Swang's going to be on the play here against Big Red. Before our Cliffs play. Mountain, of course, from Merpati. Yeah, if you blinked, you missed that. Chalice for 1. Bit of a ramp spell for Merpati. Followed by Omen of the Sea. Chocolate. Let's see where the scry's going. Uh, one card on the bottom, one card on top. So they found one thing they liked. These are the Swiftwater Cliffs. Like I said, step one for this Is It Swan decks is finding said swans. They have no other really way of winning the game unless the swans is on the battlefield. Another chalice for one for Patty, so their mana situation is pretty good. Going for the Stone Rain on the Swiftwater Cliffs. Okay, opt in response. Ooh, so they're gonna lose a land here. Okay, another opt. Put the card on the bottom. Finds another land. When it comes to play tap, though, the Mystic Monastery. So the land destruction plan is pretty strong here. Alright, another Stone Rain on the Monastery. So this is the sideboard coming into play here. And a Brittle Effigy, a clean answer to the Swans. So Merpatty in complete control of this game. Alright, Omen of the Sea on the main phase. Probably desperately needs a land. Both cards on the bottom for this Omen of the Sea, and they just have to pass. This is going to be rough. Another Stone Rain on a blue source could mean this game might be over before it started. Alright, Dark Dwellers. Oh gosh. Buys back a Stone Rain here. Gonna take out the blue source. Mr. Chocolate, Is It Swans, down to one land in play. Is this gonna be a game? Not a lot of cards deal 4 damage to... I mean, there is one card, Red Cat Melee. It would kill a red creature. They would have to sacrifice land in response, and that's it! No lands from Mr. Chocolate. Merpatty gonna make it to the finals. 2-1 over Is It Swans. The sideboard plan coming into play. Couple of Stone Rains, couple of Pillages, and Big Red gonna make it onto the finals. Gonna face the winner of Mono Green Cloud Post Ramp against Blue Green Ominous Good. That matchup already in progress. Somewhere here. So many PD matches coming on. If you're not playing PD, what are you doing? Why are you watching this? Get out there, play some Magic online with Penny Dreadful with us. So we're joining this matchup already in progress. Mono Green Cloud Post against Blue Green. Ominous Seas, Greater Good. The Cloud Post deck is up a game here. We're in the middle of game 2. Owen Machine. The sideboard tech coming to play. Players cannot draw cards. Defeating each player's upkeep draw step. Or each player's draw step. That player exiles top card of the library. It's a land card to put in the battlefield. Otherwise, they play it without playing their mana cost. Whoa. Whoa. Why isn't there Chalice just Talisman? I think it's more if you go like turn 2 Chalice, and then you go turn 3, you play your land, you have 4 mana, then you have Chalice for 2. Ooh, so Open Machine finds a Mirror Battlesphere for free. Steel Hellkite's gonna crash in for 5. Gonna be able to eat some permanent here. Probably goes for 2. I would say. Gets the Ominous Seas out of the way. Alright. And like I said, this is game 2. The Green Post deck is up a game. Alright. So you Shadow Waters draw subs to see what's good for them. Finds the Finhorn Elves. Gets it for free. Okay. Not really great against this. Alright, finds a Dreadnought, but it's not good because they really can't draw any cards. So that's it. Mono Green Post onto the finals. Man, we didn't watch much of this, but we saw the sideboard card of Omen Machine coming into play. That's a ridiculous sideboard tech here. And yeah, we got ourselves a finals here. Very quickly already. Mono Red mid-range, aka Big Red, versus Mono Green Cloud Post Ramp. Who you got? Let me know. I will say that the Green Cloud Post deck is undefeated. Have not lost a match yet. Merpatty took a loss to guess who? Mono Green Cloud Post. So this is going to be a rematch here. A burning vengeance, as they say. Will Merpatty get the revenge here into the finals? Or will this Cloud Post deck go all the way, going undefeated 7-0 today? We'll find out in just a moment. as soon as we get our pairings. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. This is going to be the last match of the day. If you're not following the channel, please hit that follow button. Following costs you nothing. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. The YouTube will have plenty of content. This is going to be great. But yeah, follow the YouTube. And if you're on the YouTube, come follow this stream. Twitch.tv/J_Mecha, where you can see this live several days a week. But yeah, thanks guys for all the follows today. It's been fun. Thanks to Caleb Gannon. Go follow their channel too. Just YouTube Caleb Gannon. They've been a big help for the season for Penny Dreadful. Hopefully, it inspires more content creators to cover Penny Dreadful. It's a really sweet format. Once you kind of get your feet wet, you will not stop swimming. But there's an endless ocean of possibilities. You like that? You like that water reference? Man, off the dome. That was off the dome there. Here we are in the finals. Marcy Man 2001 on mono green cloud post ramp, going against Merpatty on big red, mono red mid range here. Merpatty's gonna be in the play. Mountain. Pass. Marcy Man. Gonna play the turn 1 Granger. A little ramp spell that could. Gonna drop another forest into play. Not a super impressive cloud post turn, but that's okay, we'll take it. Merpatty's deck, big red, kind of a homage to last season's mono red Ponza list. But instead of playing main deck Stone Rains, they're decided to play main deck Wrath effects and ramp spells. Sylvan Scrying on turn 2 finds a Cloud Post, plays it immediately. The namesake card of the deck, Cloud Post. Turn 3 Crystal Vein just has the pass. But Cloud Post, just an ordinary land. Nothing too scary here yet. Now Lee's Intervention for 1. So if the top card's a land, or they search for life for up to X lands, put it into play. So it's basically another Sylvan Scrying. I'm sorry. I was thinking about something else. So it finds another Cloud Post, also passes. So 6 mana already on turn 3 for Marcy Man. End of turn, Merpatty cycles Sweltering Suns. Sweltering Suns, the 3 mana premier removal Wrath effect for red. Also cycle, so like I think like arguably better than Slag Storm that we had last season. But turn 4 Tectonic Giant is gonna fuel the deck a little bit. Really, this card's just really good at drawing cards. If you watch the Rakdos Walker list from this channel, you can see that drawing cards is good. What does Ponza mean? Basically, it's a land destruction strategy. It's a term from coined a very long time ago. Yes, we are in the finals, Andre. This is the finals of the tournament. Mono green Cloud Post against mono red mid range, aka big red. But yeah, Ponza is basically an old term that people use for land destruction, for mono red specifically. I can't tell you the etymology of it. Maybe someone else can. I think Ponza was like a hot food dish. I don't know. You know, it's really I'm really glad that we kind of like normalize deck lists that makes, or deck games that make sense. Like, this is not my this is my bubblegum drop storm chaser. I don't know. This is silly. Right. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Right. Draws 2 cards here. Destroys a Seething Song or Twin Flame. They decided to choose Twin Flame. Alright, cycle Sweltering Sun. So probably looking for a 5th land. Gonna pass. The Twin Flame's gonna stay in exile until the next turn. Alright, has a Seething Song. I think he's gonna chop another Tech Giant. Pass. This is actually kind of lethal. Kind of sort of lethal. Next turn, they can definitely strive onto the both Tectonic Giants. And each of them can kind of like activate for 3 damage. So, okay. Distended Mindbender, though, can get in the way of one of these Tech Giants. I don't think it's going to be enough, though. So the cast trigger is going to be whenever you reveal your hand, or whenever you cast a spell, the opponent reveals a hand, you take a card, less than 3, and then greater than 4, non-land. And they get, I believe, discarded. And I think that was a whiff. They only had 2 cards in hand. I think they actually kind of whiffed there. Ooh, Battlesphere is a huge blocker. Um, that's actually a really strong draw for the green deck. So let's see. So the Twin Flame plan, a little lackluster now. I mean, you still could like kind of get in for 12. You could have put in your 5, but you kind of like lose all your creatures. So we'll see what happens here. Merpati finds a land. They're going ahead and strive. So a bunch of tech giants. You can actually just throw the tech giants at your opponent's face. Maybe try to draw 4 cards, or 2 cards rather. Why not? You were going to lose a Twin Flame anyway. So the tech giants. Let's see what the choices are. First tech giant's going to exile top 2 cards. They're going to choose one and have it put in the exile. They can play until their next turn. Both are going to try to draw. Alright, first choice. Land or Dark Dwellers. The Dark Dwellers is going to be the name, of course. Dark Dwellers plus Twin Flame equals Great Times. The next hit here. Mizzy Mortars or Chain Lightning. They're going to take the Mortars. Interesting choice. I kind of would like Chain Lightning here. If they take Chain Lightning... Well, okay, no, it is not that bad. They have 6 mana in play right now. If they take Chain Lightning, then they could potentially just dome their opponent. So, I think I would have actually liked taking Chain Lightning instead of Mizzy Mortars. I'm not sure what you're worried about in Mizzy Mortars. You can't really hit much with the Mortars in this list. Alright, Battle Ball is going to swing in. Wow, they're tapping all the mirrors here. This is not lethal. 16. This is only attack for 13. You could just take this if you're mono red here. You're not worried about any sort of burn spell. Cards like Triskelion are absent in this green post list. That's kind of a thing I just thought about just now. Imagine if they had like, oh, Hurricane, no, maybe not. I kind of forgot about Hurricane. The big fireball. Mono green post is gonna win game 1. I have the list in front of me and I completely forgot about Hurricane. It is a fun of now looking over the list. Mono green's gonna win game 1. Maybe you should have blocked. Alright, sideboards here. We're gonna talk about sideboards. We'll start with mono green post. I don't know if they bring in very much. I don't think they've been bringing anything at all. A lot of their cards are kind of based around beating blue decks. I guess you can bring in Soul Guide Lanterns against the Goblin Dark Dwellers. They have faced before in the Swiss, and the green post deck did take it 2-0. So they're pretty experienced with the list probably by now. On the other side, mono red can kind of go into the land destruction plan in Stone Rains and Pillages. They really can't catch up at this point. So their plan really is to try to slow them down when they slowly build their advantages up. So I think once you get kind of this big creature plan, the mono red deck does have problems with bigger creatures. They could bring in Brittle Effigy to try to fight like the big 6/6s and 5/5s and 10/9s. So we'll see. They could just hurry for more people off. True. Very true. We're Patty in the chat giving his analysis. Or their analysis as they play. Game 2, Big Red going to be in the play here. This best of 3 Penny Dreadful Saturday tournament. Brought to you by me, J_Mecha. Follow me on YouTube. YouTube.com/JMecha. Push on YouTube in the chat. Oh, it's already there. Thanks, Nightbot. If you're watching this on Twitch, come follow me. Or if you're watching on YouTube, come follow me on Twitch. Twitch.tv/J_MEKA. The link is in the description below. If you're following live, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a fun stream today. I was really, really out of it this morning, but I think I've been revitalized, and because of you guys. It's because of everyone's really fun, friendly times. Alright, Merpati has the mold of 5. That's a rough start. On his side, turn 1 Cloud Post, probably the best, one of the better starts you can make outside of like turn 1 Grazer into Cloud Post. Alright, Merpatty immediately going for the Seething Song. Plays a turn 2 Dark Dwellers. Gonna copy the Seething, flashback the Seething Song. Another 5 mana in play. Big plays already. Stone Rains the Cloud Post. And that's it. Too bad. One card left, though. Merpatty did have the mull to 5 here, so if they had another play, it would have been pretty amazing, but that's just not the case. Okay. So yeah, post deck already kind of neutered quite a bit. Draws a land, Merpatty does. Attacks for 4. A 5-turn clock. We'll see what happens here. Mono green. Sylvan Scrying, probably going to get Cloud Post. But I'm already not too far behind, I would say. Merpatty did have to expend quite a bit to kind of get to this point. A Twin Flame at any point would be pretty strong, I would say. Alright, the 3rd mana source in Everflowing Chalice comes in. Dark Dwellers crashes in. Mono green at 12. The biggest piece of text on the Dark Dwellers is Menace, so a single creature will not handle this. Alright, Soul Guide Lantern is going to take out the Stone Rain, so future Goblin Dark Dweller shenanigans are kind of going to be lost here. You still could Twin Flame the original creature, so a Twin Flame does equal double damage. Pillage on the Cloud Post. That's the perfect draw. It's going to continually slow down Mono Green deck. The Dark Dweller still crashes in for 4. But yeah, Menace is kind of a big deal. People kind of forget that. You need 2 creatures to block this. Okay, another Sylvan Scrying. Probably gonna find another Cloud Post. Has 3 and oh, finds Glimmer Post actually. So already had like 3 natural posts in their hand. Both people showing why they made it this far with their insane draws and great plays here. 2 great decks actually going at it. Will Merpatty get this on a mull to 5? And that incredible turn 2 play. Thanks to Seething Song. Right. Glimmer Post will actually buy some time. They're going to go to 6. And finds Hour Promise. Wow, this could get 2 more Glimmer Posts. And gonna gain 8 life. So already, a lot of the damage from Dark Dweller is negated. Alright, finds 2 more Glimmer Posts. They both see each other. They're going to get another 8. Already at 14. This is kind of rough. The Soul Guide Lantern kind of takes out shenanigans from Twin Flame Dark Dwellers. Alright, Chalice for 2. It's not over yet. No, there's no threats on the board. The Dark Dwellers still come in. Yeah, the problem with Twin Flame is that, like, with the Soul Guide Lantern in play, ooh, Sanctum of Ugin can kind of find a big threat. Alright, Fierce Empath will tutor for a big 6-6. Or 6-drop, rather. Probably against Duplicant. Alright. Fierce Empath, really able to find a bevy of 1-ofs in the deck. Duplicant doesn't trigger the Sanctum of Ugin, you need a 7-drop to trigger it. And now the Duplicant is a 4-4. Game over already by Baker in the chat. Let's see if chat is lethal. Glorybringer is the draw. I would not exert this. I don't think exerting is very good here. Alright, not over yet. Marcy Man, down to 6 life. So, Twin Flame is still pretty lethal if this Glorybringer is not dealt with. Interesting scenario. There's another Hour of Promise. That'd be so well, not that bad. They have only 1 more Glimmer Post to kind of gain a bunch of life. Let's see. Right, choices have to be made here. Briar Moss, thank you again for the resub. Appreciate that. 9 months, thank you so much. Get the sub goal for the day. Yeah, but Briar Moss, thank you so much. Briar Moss, a top 4 competitor this tournament. Or, no, they made the top 8. They lost in the top 8. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of plays for the mono green deck. They get a Hurricane for 4 to take out the Glorybringer. I think it's, I mean, obviously, if they had a Hurricane, they would kind of do that, but they would be at 2. Hurricane hits players and creatures with flying. Briar scrubbed out. Ooh, Nalia's Intervention. The not so much used other part of Nalia's Intervention deals twice X damage to each creature with flying. Secret Hidden mode, yeah. Alright, Forgotten Cave gets cycled. Forget about it. Trying to find an answer. I think you want to hit as many Glorybringers as you can. Tectile Giant would be okay too. I think you kind of want to just like pressure your opponent quite a bit, or just draw cards. Yeah, these intervention cards have been pretty strong. I started last season with Erebos Intervention. I thought the card was really good. It's seeing more play now. Thassa's Intervention already in like high tide lists. It was in the list I played today, Mono Blue Morph. Yeah, they're all pretty good. Pepe Hands in the chat from Merpatty. It looks like it doesn't have anything left. Alright, they're gonna pillage the Duplicant. I'm gonna try to stop the bleeding here. Alright, another Sylvan's Crying. So much tutoring. Finds a Glimmer Post. Go for the maximum amount of posts here. A Glimmer Post. Gonna go to 11. So they're buffering their life total quite a bit. Alright. Oh, Artisan of Kozilek. It's gonna trigger the Sanctum of Ugin. And no! Merpatty says no. No Moss. No more! Mono Green Cloud Post completes the sweep. Wins 2-0 over Big Red here. A valiant effort from Big Red. Mulled to 5 there and kind of killed a bunch of lands. Did their best, but it was not enough. Our Promise promises a victory here. Really impressive card. Really impressive deck. Very redundant. Shades of like Mono Green Tron for Modern. And yeah, a really great showing. That was really fun. That was a fun tournament. I think it was good. Shuma 2001. I guess you're Marcy, man. Congrats. Price of Progress. Called for Briar Moss here. That'll be pretty interesting. Alright. That was a fun tournament. That was really fun. This is the deck I played today. I played Mono Blue Morph. Went 2-2. I thought I did okay. But yeah, GG's. Yeah, that was fun though. That was a lot of fun. That was a good tournament. I think we had a lot. We need to say congrats in the Discord. Alright. Any words? I think both players are here in the chat. Merpatty says, I wish Prosperous was on my side before. Shuma, I believe Shuma says, I didn't think I was going to win after that turn 2. True. We were all really afraid there. That was really scary. We'll do a little analysis of the deck list now that they're up. Let's see. This will be the wrap-up of this tournament. Merpatty. I'm just going to push your result in, Merpatty. Don't worry about it. We were all there. We saw it. Alright, so get a little analysis of the deck. So let's see how this looks. Just dig this up a little bit. Alright. So this is the winner here. Went undefeated in the Swiss. Only lost one game to Briar Moss. So only came here over the Caleb Yann video, but saw your favorite part. Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. That means a lot to us. So yeah, Briar Moss, the only one to put a little dent into the Cloud Post deck here. Yeah, really strong deck. Really big. Arboreal Grazer, a lot of ramp, a lot of redundant ramp. Arboreal Grazer. Let me just actually make this a little smaller. Probably better. Okay. Yeah, Arboreal Grazer. Sylvan Scrying, Hour of Promise, Nightly's Intervention. All sort of like huge spells to find your namesake Cloud Post, Glimmer Post action. Kind of a big deal. 4 Mindslaver. Pretty good at locking up your opponent's deck. Fierce Empath can kind of just tutor for whatever you need. Endbringer's a natural card drawing engine. Artisan of Kozilek we saw do a lot of work. A clean 2-for-1 in the end. Distant Mindbender also a nice 2-for-1 duplicate. Mere Battlescare can kind of like gum up the board. Seal Hellkite's a good removal spell in green that you kind of lack. Platinum Angel, this is the ugly version, I'm sorry. But yeah, not losing the game is pretty good sometimes. The one of Hurricane came in game 1. That was super crazy. Lloyd Blink the Night Crusher, nice. But yeah, that was pretty great deck. I lost to it very I didn't have a chance. Alright, I'll just say that. Alright, Merpatty here with the big red. Already proven. Already has won a tournament this season and actually made it to the finals of the tournament, so this deck no stranger to the top 8 scene. But yeah, shades of last season's Mono Red Poncelets if you watch the stream a lot. Dark Dwellers. Dark Dwellers basically red Snapcaster Mage. There, I said it. Tectonic Giant, Chandra Fire Artisan, Pyromancer, all really just good cards at drawing cards. They all just kind of draw cards to do the same thing, but differently. Good removal spells here. Chain Lightning, Mizium Mortars. Shuma! aka Marcy Man, thanks for the sub, appreciate that. You're the second sub of the day, really appreciate that Twitch Prime. Guys, if you have Amazon Prime, you can totally link it to your Twitch Prime account. And you can get free subs, just like Shuma here is used. But thank you so much, appreciate that. Really appreciate the support there. You're the second sub of the day. Okay, where was I at? So yeah, Chain Lightning, Mizium Mortars, Sweltering Suns, all really good removal spells. Mizium Mortars can kind of overload into a one-sided Wrath, aka Plague Wind, pretty strong. Bunch of ramp spells and Everlowing Chalice and Seeding Song. Glorybringer, my personal favorite card so far this season, I think. Been a really fun card to play. And sideboards into sort of a anti-land plan. When it's pretty good when all the burn spells aren't very good. You just kind of bring in the air quotes Ponza list. Yeah, you just kind of get it going. Right, is it Swans? Top 4 competitor, Mr. Chocolate. Swans of Brill Argle. Prevents all damage, but if you just kind of like dome the creature, you can draw a bunch of cards. Chain of Plasma will continually copy onto the Swans, and you can kind of just draw your deck. Curious if Still Rains are more effective than Prize of Brackets? Not sure. I don't know. Maybe you can get a mix of them in, I think. But yeah, this whole deck was kind of just based around trying to get this with this, or maybe Seismic Assault. So a lot of like counter magic. Pretty interesting deck. Kind of like really high on like trying to draw Swans. Like if this deck doesn't draw Swans, then you're just gonna have a bad time. The deck is like, it does kind of play like a pseudo blue-red control style, but I'm not really sure. These Stone Rings and Tie-Tie, that's pretty true. But yeah, it took 2 losses to Merpatty, so Merpatty kind of had their number. Almond is good. Another tournament, previous tournament winner. Or actually, no, they only made it to the semis, I guess. But I thought they won a tournament once. I swear I thought they won a tournament. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Anyways, but Shades from the last season, basically a near carbon copy of the Ominous Good deck from last season that I featured on the Deck Tech. But yeah, Ominous Seas, Greater Good, with Sylvan Library kind of making a bunch of guys in Kind of end up drawing your deck, so you kind of deck yourself a Lab Maniac. Also plays a Dreadnought to help fuel greater good. It said almost a carbon copy. It says adds temples, now it's new, true. But yeah, the Dreadnought plan also kind of supplemented with Trick Bind as kind of a cheesy way of kind of just making a turn 2 12-12. I actually really like this deck. It has a lot of play to it. It's actually a lot of fun. It's a kind of deck for me, which is kind of like a puzzle. It's kind of like a puzzle deck, and sometimes trying to kind of put together like Ominous Seas, Greater Good, while kind of like using Memory Lapses to kind of back that up. So it is a really fun deck. And Arca Verde. Another kind of old school list, top 8. Red White Cycling. I think this deck is in standard as well, but you know, turn 1 Flourishing Fox, the scariest thing you can kind of see these days. Basically, Wild Nacatl on crack. And a bunch of spells that don't really need to be cast most of the time. But unlike the standard version, this deck gets Lightning Rift and a bunch of cycling lands as well. So, Zenith Flare has a 3-pronged attack with like Flourishing Fox, Zenith Flare, or Lightning Rift. So it is a really scary deck. It's really scary to play against because you have to play on like so many different axes, and sometimes you just kind of don't get there. Actually, went undefeated into the Swiss, only to lose to the Swans deck in the top 8. Alright, Briar Moss. Kind of our hero of the formats. Always there with the Avant-Garde Brews. Playing, I don't know, what do you call it? Sultai mid-range? We'll just call it that for now. I wish Briar Moss could speak more. He should make videos again. But, this deck's interesting. It plays a lot of, like, cycling cards. I don't know why it shows Godzilla here, but Titanoth Rex kind of gets, like, these little incremental values. Waker Waves, kind of better cycling. When you kind of discard this card, it turns into uncounterable nagging thoughts. And yeah, it's kind of just like a weird, like, blue-blackish shell. The Animate Deads can kind of bring back the big idiots, so you kind of cheat people on turn 3 with a big guy. John Locke, kind of an all-star. Hopefully it stays or stick around for a while, but this card's been really strong, and any sort of blue-black shell. Memory Lapse, probably, and Mana Leak, just 2 really good 2 mana counter spells here. The deck was blue-green splash black, and Briar Moss actually did win with it. But now trying the blue-black splash today. Trying to lock god-awful against the Flabos deck, true. Not always the greatest card, but you know, I think you can kind of like shave a card color, maybe for something else. But yeah, this is definitely a Briar Moss list through and through, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But it's definitely like a list that like you can tell that, yeah, Briar Moss made this. But that's because I've known him for so long. So I kind of like see his list and like, yeah. Check, yep. Something. It's actually not even that off the wall. I don't want to think it's like that off the wall, really. I think it's actually pretty strong. You know, a random card I could see in this, because I'm trying to jam this card in all sorts of lists, is, what's that card? The Transmute card. The Mirror Infiltrator. That'd be interesting in this list. Because you have a lot of, like, 2-drop, like, things. Like, you can fetch an Animate Dead. Because it's so slow. I love slow. You can get Counterspell. I don't know. You can get, like, a... You could, like, wrap up so many games if you just have, like, 5 mana and you just, like, trigger for Memory Lapse. That's my thing. I love slow. I don't know. Food for thought. Food for thought. I'm just putting it out there. Let's just talk about how many things I've suggested that ended up being right. And maybe other people can comment on that. But I don't want to say I'm always right. But I would like to say that sometimes I'm right. Alright. Brand 1, playing Mono Black Zombies. The premier aggro deck, I think, of this season. Along with things like Knights and Red Deck Wins. Or just White Weenie in general. This deck has won 2 tournaments. So, in this exact list, I think, as well. Carnophage, Diagraph Ghoul, 1 mana 2/2s that keep fighting for more. Really good synergies with like Undead Augur and a load of Lord effects. Cemetery Reaper, Death Baron, Lord of the Undead, and also Leon's Mastery. Oh, is that alongside? I don't know. Okay. I think the best part about this deck though is Lake of the Dead. Kind of turns your swamps into super tutors. So I mean, every like turn 2 or 3 Lake of the Dead almost always means that you're gonna have a bad time if you're gonna see it with your opponents doing this. Black also has a really interesting like sideboard options. Underworld Dreams pretty funny against like High Tide variants, or even that Ominous Good deck. Just kind of like punishing people drawing a ton of cards. Lost Legacy, I think you kind of like are for playing black. You kind of need these kind of Amorsite type effects. And yeah, just more removal spells, pretty good. Duress and All Star as well. Last but certainly not least, Honorbound here. I actually didn't see what Honorbound was playing. Because everybody was confused. What is this? So it looks like Jeskai. Okay, we didn't get to see this deck at all. It looks like a Jeskai, sort of like mid-range control deck. We got Crackling Drake, Mantis Rider. Mantis Rider, is this new? I think this is new this season, right? But the if you're familiar with like 5-color humans in Modern, then you're probably familiar with this card. Not new? Okay. But yeah. 3 mana Flying Vigilance Haste. Why not? Let's just stable a bunch of cards. Stable a bunch of like evergreen text onto a card. See if it works out. One of Lightning Angel, the original Mantis Rider. But yeah, this is very much an Honorbound list, if you're kind of familiar with Penny Dreadful. Big proponent of playing blue cards. So you can see Man Lake, Desperate Ravings. He loves this card, Desperate Ravings, a lot. And yeah, a lot of like kind of like low removal spells here. Vanishing Light, Burst Lightning. Devil's Play, because why not? I guess it plays well with like Desperate Ravings. It has Flashback. Little kind of mana rock here, Talisman of Conviction. Vanishing Light. The sideboard's looking like. Little anti-black stuff. Celestial Purge. Anti-red here, Sphere of Law. Anti-white stuff in Sphere of Truth, so that's for White Weenie. So yeah, white has a... I think if you want to play white, it's because you want these sideboard cards. They're just really strong. These kinds of like little enchantments. Yeah, and also Mystic Monastery is pretty strong to kind of like wrap it all up, especially with Temple of Triumph. It gives your kind of deck a bit of velocity. The card search. Alright, so that was our top 8. A lot of fun. A fun tournament. And thank you guys so much for watching, if you're watching the video or you're watching live here on Twitch. One more time to kind of promote myself. If you're watching the Twitch, right here, you can go subscribe to YouTube, where this video will be. And if you're watching YouTube, come follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/J_Mecha. The link is in the description below. Thanks guys for watching, appreciate it. Shout out to all the new people, shout out to the subs. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to Twitch, you not necessarily have to, but the support does mean a lot. But yeah, appreciate all the support. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourself and each other.